At 11, we are hearing for the first time this morning from a Corsicana educator who was injured by an out-of-control student. Kendra Rogers showed us her eye injury when she was hit by a wooden hanger. We want to show you some of the details you're about to hear will be hard to hear. Our Lacey Beasley is live in Corsicana, where Rogers did have a lot to say this morning.
Hey, good morning, Karen. Yeah, this is the first time Rogers has addressed the public about what happened inside that classroom at Collins Intermediate the first week of school. Now she's saying that her right eye could be possibly blinded. Now, her family stood behind her as the assistant principal detailed what happened. Rogers says it started with a behavioral call to a classroom because of an irate student. She says she saw the student ransacking the room and knocking over furniture. Rogers told us the student threw a total of 3 chairs at her and another assistant principal as they tried to de-escalate the situation. She says she was not able to block a wooden hanger thrown at her, which knocked her right eye out of socket. Doctors told her they believe she has permanently lost sight in that eye. She then turned her attention to Governor Greg Abbott and called on lawmakers to free up state money to help districts with safety and education funding.
We must also care about the safety of our educational staff. Our safety is important too. We should never have to fear being in a classroom with an aggressive student.
Now, that student has since been detained and charges are pending with the district attorney's office. Karen?
All right, Lacey, thank you very much. We appreciate that live update.
Man, you know what? Nobody should have to work in that kind of environment where you got to constantly worry about your safety. You know, this assistant principal, Kendra Rogers, had her eye knocked out of socket and may have permanent damage and blindness in one eye. A lot of these schools have become battlegrounds. I think they're not safe for the staff and the students who are there to learn. And I don't think any amount of funding is going to fix this issue. Stuff like that should never happen. But yet we continue to see situations where it's just total chaos and just dysfunction in some of these schools across the country. And it looks like there just aren't any serious consequences for the students who are and continue to be problems. And it would seem as if these teachers and the other staff are left on their own to try to handle these out of control kids. And I don't know if they still exist, but growing up, we had alternative schools where kids who had behavior problems and they didn't want to learn and they wanted to cause problems, that's where they went. But honestly, I think it all starts at home where some of these kids are not disciplined by their parents and they're allowed to do and say whatever they want. And then those same kids, they just go out into the world and cause havoc and chaos. And then you get those parents who are slow to discipline. They'll be the same ones who are quick to accuse and blame others and excuse the behavior of their children, even when it's obvious that their children are the ones in the wrong. I'm not saying that we were saints growing up. We had our issues, but I just can't remember anything like this ever happening where I don't know. It just never crossed my mind. And some of the people that I knew or grew up with, they never did anything like that. I mean, yeah, we had kids who would cause problems, but it was nothing on the level that we're seeing today. And those kids, who caused the problems, they were quickly dealt with. And if it was a serious issue, they were sent to, like I said, the alternative school or kicked out. And if they were expelled, then the parents were responsible for providing education for that student, which I think when it comes to a child's education, the first place that they'll receive it is at home. And it should start there before they even go to school. But the thing is, sometimes the parents are just as bad as the kids. And the child is only going to do what they're allowed to do. And if left unchecked, it'll eventually carry over into adulthood. And when things get to that point, it's usually too late, because as a parent, if the problem isn't handled early, somebody else is going to step in and deal with it, whether it's the cops, the judge, district attorney, or just another citizen on the street. So they better tighten up and they better get themselves together, because this just can't continue to happen. But y'all take care, stay safe, and just make better choices, man. Peace, y'all.